Hi, I'm Trem, and you're listening to TremTalk.
Me pray every time I feel can't do no different. Swear me have a win. That's why I'ma try again.
Hey guys, so I've finally done it after years of promising. And from all the complaints I get on my Legally Trem platform about the need for me to start this podcast, it's really been on my mind for a long time, but y'all know how it is. If you follow me on socials, you know I stay busy with the work. And so this is going to be a passion project for me. So I wanted to make sure that I did it at the right time. So for those of you who don't know, I am Legally Trem. I'm a lawyer slash fashionista slash coach slash law school mentor slash spiritual guide through this ghetto thing we call life. And I just honestly make a career out of talking. I talk as a lawyer in my career. I own my own law firm. I've been running a successful practice for over 3 years now, going on 4 years. And I fancy myself a quintessential Taurus, meaning I speak my mind, I say what I mean, and I mean what I say. And some people will be, gravitating to that, while others don't really gravitate to me that much. But, that's on them, and we are who we are. I've built a platform on these Trem Talks. I used to do little videos on my Instagram to talk about whatever was on my mind for that week, posted on a Friday afternoon at 7 p.m. Everybody knows how it is. And so I decided to make it into a podcast, that way it's not really tied to who I am as a lawyer, but just me as a person. And so I really hope that you guys will be listening as I just talk about whatever the hell's on my mind for that week. So I thought my first episode should just be me introducing myself to the people. Who is Legally Trem? So I am what you would call a bootstraps kind of person. I am literally the quintessential immigrant that moved to this country from their home country. Big up Jamaica every time. I moved from Jamaica when I was 17 years old to the United States and immediately started working on becoming an attorney. I come from very humble beginnings. I'm from Money P.O. St. Anne Rosal Housing Scheme Stand Up. I'm from a little village in Jamaica where, to be quite honest, someone with my story should be an anomaly, right? But I have so many friends and people who grew up in that same tiny place in the mountains of St. Anne, Jamaica, and we have all managed to create incredible careers, coming from being the first in our families to go to college and things like that. So I'm really proud of where I come from. I'm not going to say I'm the only or the first to make something out of themselves from that small community, but I would be remiss if I did not appreciate the fact that where I come from and who I come from, were it not for my mom's prayers and for, the importance my parents put into me and my sister of how important it is to go to school and stuff, I do not think I'd be here, to be quite honest with you. Just looking at where I'm from, it's really strange to see where I've ended up as this super successful attorney with a high six-figure business. I look around my house that I live in, I look at the company I keep, I look at where I've been able to travel to and the things I've been able to see, and I'm just like, damn, look what God did. There'll be a lot of Jesus in this podcast too, so I hope y'all ready. So welcome. And I'm grateful that you guys are coming along for the ride. So let's go back into memory lane. Let's go back down memory lane to talk about where I came from. Right. So as a little kid growing up in Monique St. Anne, like I said, I went to Monique Primary and Junior High School. I come from a family of people that are a little rough around the edges. I remember a story from when I was younger that my Bible checking mom now, who was amazing, big up she every time. But I grew up hearing stories about my mom being a bad girl, right? Like there's a story of her breaking a Pepsi bottle over somebody's head when she was a teenager. So I'm come from a little family that's a little rough around the edges where, people were a little nervous to have their kids play with us. And, I've been told that the only thing I was going to be good for was to be on my back, so big up to the church deacon that told me that, big up yourself. um, and the numerous other people who have told me throughout my life that I wasn't going to be anything. And I feel like, that coupled with the trauma that I went through as a kid, went through a few different kinds of abuse, to be quite honest with you. And I feel like that instead of destroying me, God turned it into a way for me to make something of myself. And that coupled with the stubbornness I had in me, I was like, you know what? Everything and everyone telling me that I ain't gonna be shit. So I have to prove you wrong. And I've spent my life doing that to the point where now we're at a place where I'm in my mid 30s and I'm just like, I gotta find a new motivator. I've proved I've proven all the naysayers wrong. So at this point, what's next? You know what I mean? And so I give thanks for those experiences. They did not end me. And every time I went through something traumatic that I was like, man, why is this happening to me? And I'd wake up the next morning and wonder why God woke me up today. And every time He's woken me up after I've been through something that I thought was going to destroy me, that is the motivation, I think, for me to keep going and keep doing and keep growing. So, yeah, hopefully this motivates somebody else to just keep going and keep growing, keep doing. But yeah, so, pretty rough childhood, but in the midst of all of that, our parents do the best that they can. There's a lot of stuff that my parents did not know. Growing up, they did the best they could. Hardworking people. My mom moved here to make a way for me and my sibling to, be able to make our own way in this country and in this world. And so I give them thanks for that. But Jan was still, it did rough, man. Did rough. The girl got through some things, right? And so high school was a little rough as well. Made it through primary school. No matter what trauma I was going through, I always knew that the one thing I could control was my education. I learned and realized that I can shut out the world when I'm in a classroom. And no matter what anyone says or what someone's doing to me, I go to class, I sit in class, I apply myself, and the grade I get is the work that I put in. So that was honestly, school was the most honest thing I felt that was in my life. And so I took that with me to high school. One thing I will say, I've been a bright girl from a small. And when I say bright, I don't just mean my brain. I mean, my light has always shone a little brighter, right? And there's always going to be people around you, whether they are well-meaning or not, that they can't help themselves. They just gotta dim your shit. You know what I'm saying? So they have to remind you, say you come from the little Tegereg family. They have to remind you, say your family don't have no money, and say your shoes old and your uniform wash out, right? Never could tell me that the girl don't look nice though, because the girl uniform was always iron and the girl ear always comb, right? And so when I got to high school, I figured out this thing called bullying, man. I went through it in high school. Big up St. Hilda's High School and the wicked girl them that come out of there. No, I'm just playing. But I got a really great education at St. Hilda's High School, but it did rough, and a lot of people share this experience. Like I said, I'm gonna be completely honest, honey. We're not gonna lie on this podcast. And so high school was a little rough from day one. And on day one, I remember somebody wrote on the board in whiteout, because I'm from the old school millennial lifetime, right? I went to high school. I started high school in 2001. Don't do no math. Don't do no math, please. Thank you. But I started high school in 2001. And I remember on the first day of school, some girl, well, it was an all girl school, so it had to be some girl, but some girl wrote on the board in whiteout, when we had those whiteout pens, Tremaine so and so is a bitch. Mr. Ratted from Jump Street. Here we go. And honestly, the whole experience was marred by that. You know what I mean? So every year I had a new bully for a new reason. I found out I had two sisters while I was in high school. We used to have something called mark reading. So picture this, right? It's the end of the month. I think they did it monthly. I can't remember exactly, but I think it was monthly. At the end of the month, you do your test and thing, and you're called into a general assembly. And if you're not familiar with high school in Jamaica, it's grade 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11, right? So all of us are in this giant auditorium for the school, and each grade, the people that score the highest in their class are called up to get an award or some recognition for the schoolwork they are doing. And I'm sitting there, I'm in grade 7, And I have a very unique last name, right? If you know my maiden name, then you know what the last name is. And it's the kind of name that you like, nah, we have to be related, right? So imagine me sitting down there in grade 7 now, right? Me I try shrink myself, be a little bit smaller because I don't want nobody to see me too much. And they're calling grade 8, and I hear that same last name with a girl that's pretty much the light skinned version of me, who is a little bit shorter than me. I'm short, and she a little bit shorter than me. And I said, wait a minute, what is this about? And then they get to grade 11, and I hear the name again. And I said, no, man. Come to find out, that's how I found out I had a bunch of other siblings, because that was just the two that I knew of, right? I'd already met one of my siblings on my father's side because I used to go stay at the house on the weekends all the time. And that's really how I found out I had a bunch of other siblings. Typical Jamaican story. But yeah, so I had two sisters that were going to school at the same time as me. I had no idea they were going to the school before, so that was kind of crazy to experience. But they were kind of my protectors for the time that they were there, and then when they left, the bullying continued, man. Like I got bullied so bad, bro. It was like I didn't even want to go to school. But big up all of the girl them that bullied Trim in high school. Big up yourself. Oh, look at me now, girl. Big up the bullies in your life, guys. Every stage of my life had a bully, right? When I moved to the US, the bullies changed, the hold on changed. There's going to be so many people throughout your life's journey that are going to tell you that you cannot do something or are going to try their hardest to dim your little light. But the more them try to dim your light, the more defiant you are, the brighter it's going to shine, bro. If God has ordained you to do something with your life, when I tell you that nobody cannot stop it, including you, let me tell you something. The path that I am on is not the one I chose for myself. I did not want to own no damn law firm. Didn't want to do none of that. I just wanted to be a lawyer. I wanted to help people. I wanted to be an immigration attorney. And yeah, my clients who happen to be listening to this podcast, they will tell you if you've had experience with my law firm, you already know that it's not just what I do, it's literally who I am. I'm so passionate about my work. So I just wanted to do that. But the path that God put me on is beyond anything that I could have dreamed or have imagined. And no matter how hard it gets sometimes or how stressful, because girl, I'm enough great here, the girl getting on, Jesus. No matter how stressed I get or how I feel, I always know that this is the journey that God has put me on, because if even I can't stop it, there's something to this thing. And when I take a stock and look at the people who have been able to help, and the people's lives who have been able to impact just by employing somebody or having somebody come in and be mentored by me, or a friend that I'm helping to start their own law firm, or the hundreds of clients that we assist at my office. It's just I'm definitely doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and it is God ordained. And once you realize that, you will fear no man and no person talking down on your purpose. You will fear no man. So honestly, this podcast is just gonna talk about my experiences and how I have learned life lessons through the things that I have been through in my life. So I hope you stick around for the ride. And hopefully you guys, will interact when I post clips from it. I hope you guys let me know what you want to hear us talk about here on this podcast. Hopefully at some point, I might start inviting guests on the show. But for now, it's just me and y'all just liming, reflecting, and learning together. So again, this is Trim, and welcome to Trim Talk.